Good evening, everyone. Once again, welcome to World Investor Education Week, Day 2. And I see, thankfully, a lot of people who joined yesterday. I can see familiar names as well, and there are some more added names also. Uh, Before I proceed, I want to do a bit of the test. I want to make sure that everybody can hear me. Um, Everybody is able to see the slides on the board. So if you can hear me properly, if you can hear my audio, send me a yes or a okay. So I make sure that at least everybody is able to hear me. And if you have any problem with the sound, try taking off your headphones or audio phones and keep it hands free. Maybe it makes a difference, perhaps. Okay, I see a lot of people can hear me. Okay, great. That's good. Perfect, perfect. So what I'll do is, for those people who have joined today, nothing to worry. We have this series of few days, 3, 4 days, where we will discuss about. Uh, Yesterday we discussed about product library. We discussed about what kind of asset classes are available for investment, why we invest, what is the importance of it, and today we are going to discuss about the process of how you buy and sell from the live market. Please remember, today we are only going to discuss about how you do it, not why you do it. What is the reason behind it? The reasoning we will discuss in the coming days, because tomorrow we'll discuss about the impact of financial news and events on the markets and the reason why would you take a trade. Today we are just going to discuss the raw mechanism of how the buying and selling happens, what is the risk involved, how you manage those risks, how do you diversify, and what is sectoral diversification. Today we are going to discuss about different sectors which exist in the economy, and when you assess what is happening to an economy, you switch to that particular sector which is more favorable. So today we are going to discuss about that. Again, guys, something which I always recommend: keep a notepad with you, keep a diary with you, so you can write points which might be important. Some points which you can click a picture of, but then there are few things which you can write, and it will really make a lot of difference. Now, I'm. How many of you? Let me take the poll on this one, so I would know how many of you have a demo account. Yes and no. So basically, this is something which I discussed with you yesterday, that talk to your relationship manager, have a demo account. Those who are new, no problem. You can see, and we can again do this tomorrow. Um, but I'm sure the ones which came yesterday will have a demo account. So see, the purpose of demo account is just to go through, do a demo buy and sell. Please do not do this in your live accounts. Please do not replicate the trades in your live account. The buying and selling you have to do in your dummy accounts or demo accounts, not in your live account. So please refrain, don't do that. um, okay, it's a 50-50 ratio so far, but okay, no problem. Those who have demo accounts can use with me. Those who have not, just look at it, and by today evening get your demo account so you can keep practicing also. You have, if you have, somebody asked me if you have live account on Interactive Brokers. This one is a different platform. This is not Interactive Brokers. Interactive Brokers is for separate thing. This is for derivatives. Okay, this is CMC Markets demo account. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. Just look at what I'm doing, and you can note it down on your notebook and then replicate the same thing today in a different demo account. Right? And don't worry about it. We'll do it together. Now, today we are going to discuss about the mechanism of how the trade is actually executed. Before we proceed, please remember this: this concept of leverage and margin trading, which you are going to learn today, is very risky. So do not borrow money from anyone. Do not take a loan and invest or trade or speculate. uh, this is where you can lose money, a lot of money, and that's why you have to be very careful. Please understand the concept. Now we start with margin trading. I'll explain you first, and then we'll replicate this process, right? And when we'll start margin trading, we'll also today create a watch list, adding all the essential asset classes in that watch list or in that favorite list, which you can see every day. Yes, I can record. I'm recording this session, and we'll try to record this and put this on YouTube as well, so you can see it later on. But I would still suggest today, while you are live, you can ask all your questions live. It will really create a lot of difference. So you can always see the recording later, but when you are trading this live, you can always look into it. Now, when we talk about margin trading, guys, margin trading is a very simple process and very risky. Today, when you have to buy or sell anything, and keep writing down in your diary and try to replicate this thing. If you have to do any transaction today, like for example, if you have to buy this bottle of water, and this bottle of water is say 5 dirhams, you pay 5 dirhams cash and you take this bottle with you, right? When it comes to margin trading is a method by which you can buy something of an X amount, say $10,000, but you don't have to pay the complete cash. Once again, you can buy something of an X amount, say, for example, $10,000, but you not need to have $10,000 with you to purchase it. The diagram which you are seeing right now clearly shows you that how margin trading works. Whatever deposit you have, it is not necessary that your buying power is directly connected to the amount of money you have. For example, today, if I have $10,000 in my pocket, anything or whatever I can buy is within $10,000, right? If I have to increase it, then I have to pay more money. My buying power is equal to the deposit which I have. But using margin trading or using leverage facility, your buying power can increase. It doesn't matter how much deposit you have. So if you have $5,000, you can buy stuff worth 50,000, right? Now this is where what I'm saying, it starts to look like a scam, right? So let me tell you this, and after the session is over, you can search for margin trading and understand that this is a very wide concept, and it's a very known concept. It's not something which is new. It happens. All the online trading platforms work in the similar manner. So now I'm going to go to the live platform, show you first to add a watch list, and then once you have added a watch list, we are going to do a live transaction using this concept. While I'm doing it, I'll show it to you. So I'm sharing my screen right now. If you guys have demo accounts, you can open it separately and do it with me. Those who have not, don't worry about it. You have your notebooks, just keep note this down and see how we are doing it. And you can have a one-on-one session with your RM also, and he can explain you what we are doing today. Now, you are currently watching a live platform, which means whatever prices you will see today will be live prices, buying and selling prices, and it will fluctuate as per the market moves. First thing first, you don't have to depend on a fund manager to explain it to you that what's the market looking like today. This is the whole idea of having this session. So I'm going to make you self-sufficient and independent today by adding a couple of products in your watch list, which you can see it on day basis. First thing, to create a watch list, you have to click on the second option from the top. Everybody can see this. Right now, I have zoomed into my screen. If everybody can see this, this is the watch list. Okay. The watch list is more like a favorite list where you jot down all the important financial instruments like gold, oil, stocks, commodities, and look at their buying and selling prices live, or opening prices, closing prices, high and low. Click on the watch list and you will see a dialog box which opens. This has an option of click create new watch list. There is an add option which says create new watch list. So once again, I hope everybody can see this. Keep writing your doubts on the chat section. I'll try to answer as much as I can. You click on create new watch list and a empty box appears. Now everybody can see at this particular box, this is an empty box. I'm maximizing it right now. Now this says watch list 4. There's a number to it. All you have to do is just slightly left to that, there is a menu option right here. I hope everybody can see this. Keep a close check. Just on the left side, right here, there is an option which says watch list 4. Select it and you can give it any name you want to. It may be your name, it may be my name, it can be anyone's name. I am writing it Investor Week Day 2 list, right? Now I have made this list right here. Okay, now this name is registered. So all I did was click on the left here at the menu section and I wrote the name and created the list. Now I have to add items to this list. You don't have to go to a separate library to do this. You can actually do it just next to this. There is a add option right here. Everybody who can see is add product. Small magnifying glass which has a plus on it right here. And when you click on add product, now I'm going to add these products, right? Gold. So when you write gold in your demo accounts, look for gold cash commodity. This is a direct metal gold we are talking about, right? So gold cash commodity, click on gold and you will see gold price getting added. We'll go through the price quote later on. Let's just add the products. So I'm starting with commodities, guys. Okay. So I have added gold. Please add silver. Silver cash commodity. Add this. Those who do not have the demo account, write these metals and instruments down so you can add this later because this is going to be your watch list for the rest of the days. Gold, silver. Now you write crude oil. Please remember crude oil are of two types, crude oil Brent and crude oil West Texas. Crude oil Brent is UK, comes from the North Sea. Saudi, Russia, and other countries which are related to Europe, they are concerned with Brent oil, while others they are concerned with West Texas. So you write crude oil Brent, the very first contract which you see, June, add crude oil Brent to your list, and also add crude oil West Texas, which is US crude oil, West Texas May, US crude oil. This is the oil which comes from US. So far we have added 4 products: gold cash, silver cash, crude oil Brent June 2021, crude oil West Texas May 2021, right? Write this down in your diary. Those who have the demo accounts, you can add. Once again, click on watch list, click on create new watch list. Once you click on create new watch list, this box will open. Click on menu, give it a name, click outside, and then start adding products from using this option. Now we have metals done, we have energies done. There are a lot of other metals and a lot of other energies, but I am right now putting only the ones which are maximum traded or invested by the investors, right? So gold, silver, oil. Now one agricultural commodity, let's say I'm adding wheat. There are a lot of agricultural commodities, but I am adding wheat. You can add whatever you want to. It could be oats, could be corn, could be anything. But right now I'm adding wheat to it. So this is done. Your commodities are created over here. Now I move on to currencies. One second, guys. Let me just check if everybody can. Okay, great. Okay, why Brent June 2021? There's a question in why Brent June 2021 and crude oil West Texas May. So, to answer the question, most of the commodities they are traded as future contracts. These are monthly, at least for oil, these are monthly contracts. Okay, so the one which is right now on the top is the current contract. When this expires, you move on to the next contract. So because June is on the top, that is the current contract which is going on. So that's why you add Brent June. And for West Texas, it is May 2021 because that's the current contract. We'll talk more about future contracts later, where you can actually learn a bit more. Now, I am done with commodities. Now, next, I'm adding what to my watch list? It's time to add currencies. Currencies. Select Euro, EUR slash USD, the highest tradable currency as of now. Euro, USD currencies. Don't use the future contract, don't use June or September. Just click on Euro, USD currencies. Not USD Euro, Euro, USD, EUR slash USD. So you added one currency. You can also add GBP USD, which is pound and dollar. Look for GBP USD in currencies added. Then go for USD slash JPY, which is dollar yen, right here. And you can add one more, USD slash CHF, Swiss franc, dollar, and Swiss franc. These four are highest tradable currencies. These four currencies are the ones which are traded with maximum volumes: euro, pound, dollar yen, and dollar Swiss franc. As you can see, two currencies, dollar is on the right side. The other two currencies, the dollar is on the left side. How different it is? How do you write it? Tell me on the chat option, guys. If I am a 5-year-old kid and I want to understand Euro USD is 1.2034. Imagine if I'm a 5-year-old kid and I don't understand what does Euro USD 1.2033 means. How would you explain this to me? Use your chat options, guys. Consider me as a 5-year-old. I don't know foreign exchange. I don't know currencies. I don't know exchange rates. If I'm a 5-year-old kid and I am asking you that what does Euro USD is equal to 1.2033 means? What is a very basic explanation to it? Okay, somebody is saying strongest on the left, higher on the left, but I'm a 5-year-old kid. Uh, Tell me the literal meaning of it when I say Euro USD is equal to 1.2033. Go ahead, guys, try it, try it. This is a real challenge for you, right? More you try, more will be easier for you to understand. Okay. Okay, I've got two answers, 3, 4, 7, okay, 10, 15. Okay, now it's flooded. So let me write. Okay, let me read out some of the things. If I buy, so to buy €1, you pay $1.2. And I have another answer which says for $1, you can get €1.2 if you exchange it. Another answer, €1 is equal to $1.2. €1, you will get $1.2. You will need $1.2 to buy €1. So uh, somebody said for $1 I can get 1.2 euros. That is not right. Okay, the right answer is very nicely explained also, by the way, everyone, brilliantly explained, because this is something which a 5-year-old would understand, that if you want $1, sorry, if you want €1 to buy €1, you have to pay $1.20. Okay, to buy €1, you have to pay how many dollars? $1.20. So when you see, just remember that when you see Euro USD, Euro on the left, USD on the right, and I say Euro USD is equal to 1.2034, that means €1 is equal to $1.20. Now, those who got it wrong last time, tell me, what does this mean? USD JPY, dollar yen is equal to 108.12. Those who got it wrong last time, what does this mean? Dollar yen 108.12. Use the same language and explain it to me, because this time dollar is on the left side. So what does it mean? Last time dollar was on the right side. What does it mean? USD JPY is equal to 108.13 or 12, whatever it is. The prices are fluctuating currently. Write it down, guys. Try to write it down. And if you don't want to do it on the chat, at least do it on your notebook so you will understand. Okay, for $1, you will get 108 yen. Okay, you will get 108 yen for $1. To buy $1, you pay 108 yen. So I understand that this concept is getting clearer to everyone, that whichever currency is on the left side, that is your base currency, and right side is your cost quote currency. So if you want $1 and you have yen, you spend 108 yen and you get $1. Now, tell me one thing using this example. If USD JPY is 108 and it goes to 110, which currency is getting stronger and which currency is getting weaker? It is 108 right now. If it goes to 110, which currency is getting stronger and which currency is getting weaker? Write it down on your chat option. I know, guys, this look very childish to you, but this is the very basic of understanding the currencies. If USD JPY from 108 goes to 110, which currency is getting stronger and which currency is getting weaker? Okay, perfect. Perfect. Try everyone. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, somebody just said, okay, somebody just said that JPY is getting stronger. JPY is not getting stronger. Reason being, JPY is getting weaker because earlier to buy the dollar, you will pay 108 yen, 108 Japanese yen. Now it is 110, which means to buy the same dollar, you are paying more yen. So dollar is getting stronger, but yen is getting weaker because now to buy the same $1, you are paying more yen. Okay, so this concept be clear. If I pay $5 to buy this bottle, and tomorrow the price goes expensive and I'm paying $7 to buy this bottle, which means the value of this bottle is appreciated. This bottle is getting stronger in value, but the currency is getting weaker because now instead of paying $5 to get the same water bottle, I'm paying more dollars to buy the same bottle. So the value of bottle is getting stronger, right? Now, okay. Now what we'll do is those who have not got the demo account, please understand, you can write it down, note it down, and then we can have a separate session and I can explain you again for the platform. Don't worry about it. It's very easy to operate. That's why I'm doing it step by step. Just keep looking at your screen and keep noting it down. Now I've added 4 currencies. Now it's time to add commodities, currencies. I'll add one more thing right now. It's a ongoing trend at this point of time. I'm adding Bitcoin also to it. And we'll study a bit how Bitcoin has moved throughout the time. I'll add Bitcoin, I'll add Ethereum also, a few cryptocurrencies which we have, and you can look at their movement as well. And then coming on to stock index. Like yesterday we discussed about, once again, let me ask you this question just to check if some of you remember or not. If I say that I have invested into German 30, what is its literal meaning? I have invested into German 30. What is its meaning? Write down on your chat options, guys. If you don't know the answer to it, Google search and then write. I know it's a bit of a stretch, but I really want you to work on this. If I have invested into German 30, what does it mean? Give me the literal meaning. Okay, I got one answer. That's correct. Okay, 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 okay. Perfect, perfect. Very good, everyone, very good. There's not one single answer which is wrong. So this is amazing. Amazing. Basket of products, also amazing. It's just basket of products. When you say, yes, it's a basket, it's a index which is tracking 30 top German companies. Brilliant, brilliant answer, guys. Everyone, well done. Now, similarly, German 30, France 40, UK 100, US 30. So this is something which we understand that it's a stock index We are investing into an index. If I'm investing into German 30, that means I am investing into an index which is tracking 30 companies of Germany, right? So your money is automatically diversified in 30 companies. Now I'm adding such important index. So I will start with German 30. Many of you might be surprised, but German 30 index cash, this is one of the highest tradable index. German market is one of the most important economies in Europe. I will also add SPX 500, which is a US stock index, 500 strong companies of US. I will also add US 30, which is also called Dow Jones. And these are 30 companies of US, which I am adding this. So this is also traded. And you can always search that which 30 companies are traded. Some of the names you already know. When I say US 30, some of the 30 companies when I'm talking about, Visa, Mastercard, Boeing, Intel, IBM, Caterpillar, Johnson and Johnson, Pfizer, um, Apple, Microsoft. These kind of companies are in US 30. Such kind of companies. So a company which is Microsoft can be in US 30, it can be in Nasdaq 100, it can be in S&P 500. One company can be in different indices. Please remember this. So I have a question. The question says, if I invest 3,000 dirhams into German 30, does it spread 30 AED per company, or what if each stock costs more than 30 AED? So it's a very well framed question that if you're investing into a German 30 index, how is your money allocated? So every index has companies which have certain weightage. Like for example, if I have a class of 50 students, but I know that the best performance in this class of 50 are is the first row which have 5 students. So if those 5 students don't come the next day, I may not teach the rest of the 45 students because I know that my best performing students are these 5. So I may teach something which I've already taught to the rest of the 45 students, and I will wait for the 5 students to come and join so that I can teach them again, right? So this means that those 5 students have higher weightage in my class. Similarly, in an index, there are companies which have higher weightage and there are companies which doesn't have that higher weightage. Like for example, in US 30, Apple or Microsoft might have a higher weightage as compared to Walgreen or Walmart, for example, right? So your money is allocated in a certain way. When you are buying an index, you are allocating to the highest weightage company to the lowest weightage company. So if you're buying an index which costs you $25,000 and you put $25,000, that means the weightage at which every company is allocated with. Maybe Apple has 50% weightage, so it moves the index more than any other company, right? So that weightage is also given in an index, which you can always see. So the answer to your question, how your money is allocated in terms of how much weightage is given to each company, right? And the weightage can be on the basis of the price, can be on the basis of overall market value also. Now I have added few indices into it. I'll add one more to it. Actually, two more to it. US Nasdaq 100, which is again US index. So I have added 3 US market indices, one German. I will also add UK 100, which is a UK stock market index, 100 companies of UK added into it. Correct. Now I will add some share baskets. Yesterday I told you the concept of baskets, that let's say if you want to invest into renewable energy sector, then instead of putting in money into one company, you can invest into a basket which is which has all the companies that are connected to renewable energy. So you can trade in the whole basket. The concept is just like an index, but when you are putting money into an index, you are looking at different companies, different sectors clubbed into one index, but that index is country specific. Okay. So if you're investing into German 30, these companies can be of different sectors like telecom, food and beverage, apparel, but all those companies are German. Simply, when you're investing into US 30, those 30 companies can be telecom, technology, food and beverage, digital payment, but all those companies are US. Now, when you're looking at renewable energy basket, same basket, but these companies can or cannot be US, but they all belong to one common theme, and that is renewable energy, right? So I'm adding renewable energy basket. I'm also adding, uh, let's say, US US banks, a basket which has US banks, and a basket which also has UK banks, right? So some of these are baskets which are available, a whole theme of baskets which only has UK banks, a basket which only has US banks. So if by any chance, like this is important, there's a question, why not India? Oh, okay, you reminded me of something. Let me add India 50 as an index also right here. So of course, guys, there is no limit to adding indices to your list. But then again, you can add all these indices in your list. You can add all these baskets in your list. There's a question: is renewable energy basket an ETF? So uh, the concept is similar, but the formation of an exchange traded fund is more connected how funds are created by the fund management companies, while this basket is created by the broker. Okay, this is a very, very important difference between a basket and a fund. Basket and ETF, they have a similar concept, but where ETFs are much widely created by fund management companies, the baskets are created specifically by these brokers. So the basket which you see right now is created by the platform provider whose platform I'm showing it to you, right? Is there a way to know what are the companies under an index? Absolutely. You can just Google it. So right now, when I'm talking to you, I'm talking about US 30, right? US 30 is called Dow Jones. So right now, if you search on your web page Dow 30 companies, it will show you the list of all the 30 companies which are in that. If you write S&P 500 companies on Google, it will show you all the 500 companies which S&P is tracking. Why India index is not in cash? So this is something which we have seen before also. The Indian index is only available on future. It's very difficult to get Indian index on a derivatives platform because most of the volumes from India, they are not allowed to go outside. So earlier we easily used to get the quotes from the Singapore, but now that is restricted by the Indian government because they want to keep the volumes within India. So it's very difficult to get cash derivatives of the Indian index. Is there a way to know the components of the selected baskets? Now, because baskets are created by the broker itself, I will be able to send you a PDF which will show you that what are the companies which are into that basket. Absolutely. Because unless you know what components you're dealing with within the basket, there's no point of investing. So, yes, right. So now I have added the baskets. I am adding also a few stocks. Now market opens at 5:30 p.m. Dubai time, so you won't be able to see movement in these stocks. So I'm adding some European companies as well, like here Adidas, for example, is listed in German index. I'm also adding uh, Lufthansa, the airlines. I'm adding European companies right now. I'm adding few US companies also, like say Facebook, Apple. All you have to do is search, and you'll be able to get it. Microsoft, and more. So right now you can scroll down this list and you can see that there are so many of these stocks which you can add. 1 second, let me, okay. Anyways, you won't be able to see the quotes because the markets will open at 5:30. So right now I have added these products. Now please remember this watch list. Today when you get your demo accounts, you have to do it on your own. Talk to your relationship manager if you are not able to remember, but it's very easy. Click on create new watch list right here, and this window will open, and then you can use this add product option and keep writing, and you will be able to add. Now why have made you add this watch list? I have made you add this watch list because every day, and write this down, if you are a morning person, uh, If not, then also okay. When I say morning person, again, I'm talking about a bit early because we are based in UAE. We are blessed with the timing that we can track a lot of markets because 3 a.m. UAE time, 3 a.m. Dubai time, Japan market opens. Okay, write it down if you want to somewhere. Japan, China opens at, so right now again guys, the Asian market opens in the morning 3 a.m. 4 a.m. China opens at 4 a.m. Japan opens at 3 a.m. Right. uh, Once these markets are open, you will see a lot of movement, especially into commodities. Write it down, remember this. When Japan and China opens, when Asia opens, there is a lot of movement which happens in gold prices. I want you to track this out. I want you to see this from your own eyes, that whenever in the morning, if there is a drastic movement in Asian markets, you will see gold prices moving a lot. A lot of strategies were built around the fact that gold prices move heavily in the morning around 4 a.m., 3 a.m., right? So, uh, when you have to check the prices of these commodities at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., again, if you get up, and it depends on your interest. Now, once that time is passed, just put 3 a.m., 4 a.m., you saw the prices, just have a glance at the prices. When you see the prices, what you see at the extreme right here, it says the buying price of, I'm starting with gold right now, $1,778. This is the current buying price. Okay. But on the left side, when we start, it says low, high, open, and close. What does it mean? It means the lowest gold has seen today, the highest gold has seen today, at what price it opened, and yesterday what price did it close, right? So right now, if the price is 1778, look at this chart, okay, and tell me what is the lowest price gold has gone so far. Look at this chart and tell me what is the lowest gold has gone today. Use your chat options, guys. Use your chat options. What is the lowest gold has gone today? Write it down. I know it's very evident. I know it's very clear in front of your eyes, but I still want you to write it down. More you write, more you retain. Today, if you have written that the lowest price of gold is 1772, that means it is registered in your mind that today you have seen gold prices hitting the lowest of $1,772 for 1 ounce. 1 ounce is 31 grams. So the prices which you see are in dollars, and it is for every ounce of gold. 1 ounce is 31 grams. Today, if you go to the jewelry store, they will tell you 215 dirhams for 1 gram, 24 carat, 210 dirhams, 214 dirhams, like that. But when you're looking at gold prices globally, you're looking at dollar per ounce. $1,772 is the lowest. Current market price, however, is on the extreme right of this table, which you can see it is fluctuating 1778. Similarly, the highest today gold has gone is 1790. Now, what does it mean? It means that already gold has given, right now, US is not open, by the way, and gold has given easily a movement of $20-25. So that's what I was telling you yesterday, that gold is a great instrument to for intraday trading. May not be a good idea to invest long term, but brilliant instrument for buying selling every day, because it is giving you $25 movement whatnot before the US opens, right? Today the lowest is 1772, highest is 1790, which means it has already given you a movement of at least 18 to $20. So this can actually move 18 to $20 easily, 20 $25 on a normal day, right? Now, one more thing, you can see a percentage change just before the current prices. It says green 0.05. What does it mean? It means that the current price of gold, which is 1777, is 0.03% higher than the yesterday's closing price, which is 1776. So as compared to the yesterday's closing price, the current price of gold is 0.04% higher. Similarly, if you go down a bit and look at Bitcoin. Okay, now tell me that what was the closing price of Bitcoin on Friday? Because yesterday market was closed. Tell me what was the closing price of Bitcoin? You can see it from the table. What was the closing price of Bitcoin on Friday? So normally what they call it as Friday closing. Okay, keep writing, guys. Keep writing. You're doing it right. Perfect. Very good. I want everyone to write this. I want everybody to write this, because this is how you will get practice of learning and understanding that when somebody says, sir, closing was, or ma'am, closing was this. So you will know what closing actually means. Closing means this, what you see right now, 61,812. That is the closing price of Friday, because Saturday, Sunday markets are closed. And current price. So this was the closing price, right? And opening price, you can see just on the left that it closed at 61,000 and it opened at 56,000, which means down almost $5,000. If you had bought one Bitcoin on Friday before closing for 61,000, currently you're losing $5,000 on it, because overnight it went down. In 2 days it came down almost to $5,000. Now, so yes, one question raised here: Bitcoin trade on Saturday and Sunday only. CMC is closed. So the brokers, which like this, what you are seeing right now, they don't trade cryptocurrencies on Saturday, Sunday, but on global exchanges, Saturday, Sunday, the crypto trading happens. So that's why we have seen closing of Bitcoin on 61, but when it opened at 56,000, because Saturday, Sunday on weekends, Bitcoin was traded, right? So this is always a risk. Again, Bitcoin is a very risky instrument. We'll talk a lot about this. Now, while we understand how these quotes are, so similarly, oil, as you can see, it is $66 per barrel, right? Index, however, index is done in units. So if you are looking at, for example, we took example of Nasdaq yesterday. When you write Nasdaq, 1 unit is equal to 13,975 dollars, 1 unit. Now, once we have created this watch list, all you have to do is, when you wake up in the morning, please look at the current price and look at the lowest and the highest. Uh, if you can do it around 4 a.m., 5 a.m., very well, or 3 a.m., very well. If you can't, then 11 a.m. is when the UK and Europe opens. Dubai time. Remember it, write it down. 11 a.m. is when UK and Europe opens. So you can check the prices of commodities, currencies, cryptocurrencies, indices, especially European indices like German, France, and UK, because UK, Europe opens at 11 a.m., movement happens. Again, after 11 a.m., a lot of data comes out at 1 o'clock and 12:30, which means data, when I say that, means unemployment rate of UK, GDP of Europe, like this data, which is fundamental data, it comes out around 12:30 or 1 o'clock afternoon UAE time. That also gives a lot of movement to currencies and commodities and indices, right? So check around 1 o'clock also. And when I say check, just give it a glance, like 5 minutes glance. All this time period I'm telling you, just have to spend your 5 minutes. So 5-10 minutes, around 3 a.m., 4 a.m., then 11 a.m., 5 minutes, then 1 a.m., 5 minutes, 11 a.m., and then 1 p.m. or 12:30 p.m. Then directly 4:30 p.m. is when US data comes out. 4:30 p.m. is when jobs report of US, manufacturing data of US, and we will discuss about this tomorrow about fundamental analysis. But for now, just understand that 4:30 p.m. is key time. 5:30 p.m. is when the US stock market opens. 5:30 p.m., guys, is when US market opens. Most important time, 5:30, you can start trading in stocks, in shares, and US index moves, currencies move, Europe indices move, because when 5:30 p.m. US opens, UK and Europe is already open. So imagine the amount of volatility or the fluctuations which come to the market, right? So please keep a check on the prices during 5:30 and then by 7 o'clock and later on before the market closes, say 12 o'clock, just so 5 minutes, not more than 20-25 minutes in a day distributed in different time periods. You should watch at your watch list during this specific time periods for sure. Okay, more we understand about fundamental analysis, more we'll understand that which news is very important for day-to-day traders, right? See, if you're a long-term investor, then there is no question of doing all this. Long-term investors, they buy, they hold for years. But the reason of, even if you're a long-term investor, you should know that what kind of news impacts the daily market. So when you're taking an investment decision, you are fully aware of this, right? Now, once you have created your watch list, it's time to place a live trade. Now, I will take a live trade right now in the market. Okay, look at my account value. Now, this is my demo account. It's a dummy account, guys. Again, whatever trades I'm taking are not taken on the basis of any research. This is just for illustration purpose. So please do not replicate this in your live account. I'm saying it very clearly. Do not replicate any of the trades I'm taking right now in your live account. These are just for illustration purpose. There is no research over here. I have $100,000 in my dummy account. Okay. Now I'm going to take a trade to show you how margin trading works. Let's take example of, okay, let's take example of a Bitcoin first. Everybody is writing over here that take examples of Bitcoin. So I'm going to take example of Bitcoin. There's a question, how can we view the market news? Okay, because it's an instant question, I'll just show you next to the watch list, there is an account option where you can see your trades. Next to the account option, there is an option here which says market pulse. There is a pulse made over here. Click on it, click on market calendar, and you'll be able to see all the news. You can filter them with high impact or low impact, but you have to see all the high impact news. So it will show you day on day what news is coming. More of this we will do tomorrow when we are talking about the fundamental analysis, because it was a direct question. I thought I'll answer you. Okay, buy column shows current price and what the sell column shows. So the guys, buying column shows the current price, selling column also shows the current price. So there are two prices which you see over here. One is the buying price and one is the selling price. And I'll explain you why the selling price is also shown, because you buy at one price and you sell at another. Okay, so there are these, both are live prices. Now I'm going to take a trade first, and let's take a trade in Bitcoin. To take a trade, we need an order ticket. To need order ticket, all I have to do is click on the current live price, which is here. So let's say I click on buy price. Now this is my order ticket. What is the value of one Bitcoin right now? $56,845. How much money I have in my account? Tell me guys, how much money I have in my account? How much money I have in my account? I just said that. Write it on your chat. How much money do I have in my account, in my trading account? Go ahead, guys. Write it. Okay. 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 Perfect. Perfect. I hope you understand that why I'm doing this in such a childish way, because I can't see you guys. So I want to make sure that you are into this, because this is something which is really important. Somebody just wrote that it's an excellent platform, but the charges are high. I understand that charges will always be high when it comes to cryptocurrencies, because the volatility is really high. Okay, great. So now everybody knows I have $100,000 in this particular account. Yes, account value is the money which I have put in my trading account. So when you open a trading account, whatever money you put, it shows in your account value. Now I have $100,000. So that means, in a layman language, that forget about margin or leverage, my buying capacity would be 100,000 only, right? So if I'm looking at a Bitcoin right here, If I want to buy one Bitcoin, I write unit one, I press enter, and it says 56,784. 56,708. This is the current buying price, 56,000. See how high, how much it is fluctuating. If I write two Bitcoins, 113,000, right? But how much money I have? I have $100,000. Now, if I have $100,000, can I buy something worth 113,000? In a normal world, I cannot. If I have $100,000 and I want to buy two Bitcoins, I need 113,000 and not just 100,000. But because over here, the margin trading is in use, that means when I click on this option and go to product overview, it shows me that I have to block 50%, 50% of my total value, which means if I am buying $113,000 worth Bitcoin, I have I don't have to give $113,000. I just have to give 50% of that value from my 100,000, which means 50% of 113,000 is how much? 56,667. Okay. And I have 100,000 with me. So when I click on buy, it's a double click process. It says you bought two units, which means two Bitcoins at a price of 56,767. That I go to my account, which is next to the watch list. I click on positions. Always remember, guys, uh, any trade taken in the live account, any trade taken in the financial markets is called positions. Okay. Positions means these are the trades which you have placed. So right now, when you go to the account, click on positions, you will see this window open. What does it show? It shows that you have bought Bitcoin, two units, $113,000 worth of Bitcoin you have. But to buy that Bitcoin of 113,000, I only had 100,000. But because they don't ask, the broker doesn't ask for the full value, they just ask for a margin percentage, which is 50%. So 50% of 113,000 is 56,662. So now if you go to my account value, first of all, my account value, which was 100,000, is now 99,500, which means I'm losing $500 right now, and it's moving, it's fluctuating, right? So account value shows you the real value of your investment. On the left side is the total margin, which means right now to buy this coin of two coins of worth 113, I have only blocked $56,600. I still have $42,000 in my account as the available cash. That is right, guys, which it means that to buy $113,000 worth Bitcoins, I have not paid entire 113,000. I have just paid 50% of the total value from my trading account, which had $100,000. Okay, so as you can see that out of 100K, 56,000 is paid, remaining 42 is available cash. Now coming to the point, right now, tell me, tell me the profit and loss scenario, how much I can lose in this account maximum. Tell me the maximum if Bitcoin goes to zero. Worst case scenario, if Bitcoin goes to zero, what is my total loss in this account? Please go ahead, write it on the chat. Somebody asked me what does the account value shows. Account value shows you the current value of your investment. So if it was $100,000, now it is 99,600, which means I'm losing $400. It shows you the real value. Okay. Now tell me, guys, how much is the worst case scenario I can lose if Bitcoin goes to zero? Okay, a lot of you are answering 56,000, 56,000, 56,000. Some of you have said 113,000, 56,000. Okay, 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 maybe, okay, full margin will be negative. Brilliant, brilliant. So just to make sure, there are three answers which are coming in. One is one answer which has come. It says $100,000, which means the money which I invested, I lost. It became zero. Lot of answers are coming which says $113,000. This is really important, guys. I can lose because I have two coins. So those who said 56,767, those who are looking at margin, please, I may have blocked $56,000 as a margin, but my total portfolio value is 113. So if Bitcoin goes to zero, I lose 113. Okay. I just don't lose the margin. I lose full money which I have, which means tomorrow if I have put $100,000 and I have taken a trade which is worth half a million using margin, and the value of the commodity goes to zero, then I can lose half a million, not just the margin, right? That is the concept of margin trading. So that's where the risk is involved. Now, looking at that fact, you will ask me the question that if this is the case, then anybody can put $100,000, take a leverage of 1 million, and lose money and not pay it back, right? It can happen. And how the brokerage business will survive otherwise? How it works is that when the broker sees that your loss is getting closer to the amount which you have deposited, they automatically close the trade at a certain level. Okay. And that level is when your account value reaches 50% of the total margin. So right now, if the margin blocked is 56,000 and my account value is 99,000, the moment account value starts dropping and it reaches 50% of 56,000, which means if it reaches around 26,000 something something, for the exact, you can click on this information circle, scroll down and see 28,286. If the account value drops to $28,000, all my trades will be closed automatically and I will be prevented from losing more than what I have deposited, right? This is called liquidation process. This is normally what the brokers apply. But that being said, it doesn't gives you a guarantee that you cannot lose more than the deposit. Okay, that's why every broker's website they say that losses may lead to deposits also. So that's why you have to understand it may exceed the deposits also if the market volatility is too high and if you're over leveraged. So one thing which you have to understand, never put $10,000 and take a trade worth 100,000. Just because you can take doesn't mean it's right. Never put $100,000 and take a trade worth 5 million or 6 million, because you will be able to do that. But that will bring a lot of risk on your portfolio. Risk and reward. See, if you put 100,000 and take a trade worth a million, 10% price going up will make 100% return for you. That is the power of leverage. But 10% price down will create 100% loss also for you, right? A question came, is it possible to set the close trade to more than 50% of the initial investment? Uh, the automatic close out the automatic closeout happens 50% of the margin. But if you want to set the trade, the initial closeout, if you want to set a particular level to it, you can by using a stop loss. For example, I am looking currently at this trade. Okay. If I want to put a stop loss, all I have to do is click on this modification pen and add a stop loss that I may not be watching this account throughout the day. But if my loss reaches, say, to $1,000, I write the amount for myself. I click on modify. Now it creates a stop loss situation for me. Even when I'm not watching at this account, if my loss reaches $1,000, automatically this trade will be executed and my loss will be booked, whether I'm watching it or not. So always remember that you have to have a stop loss when you are doing day trades, especially when you are highly leveraged. And in currencies like Bitcoin, etc., you really, really have to keep a stop loss. Is there any leverage fee? Uh, there is a holding cost which comes across. We'll discuss more about the cost part by the end of these all these sessions. And again, this is something which we can discuss later, but it's not too high given the world interest rates are down. It won't really affect your profitability. Now, once we have understood how to put a stop loss and how margin trading works, let's understand few ways to diversify your portfolio. Okay, this is something which is really important. You can always keep practicing making a watch list before we finish this session. uh, Very important thing is I have to discuss one more thing, and that is short selling, but I can do short selling tomorrow. For today, uh, one thing which I want to discuss is, yeah, before I go to the short selling, we'll keep this for tomorrow. But today, definitely we should understand. We understood what the stop loss does. Putting a stop loss restricts your loss to a certain level, which means if you took a trade and you're sleeping or you're out, or like for example, there are a lot of people who are doing multitasking, taking care of the kids, taking them from school, or maybe they are cooking food, or they are working outside, juggling around a lot of things. You may not be able to see your daily trades portfolio, right? So when you take a trade, please keep a threshold, keep a stop loss. Whether you are watching it or not, if it comes to that threshold, automatically closes your trade and a loss is booked. So it is always good to have a loss threshold in your mind. Never keep your trade open. That is the very basic rule, and this should be followed. Yes, I will explain the stop loss again. Let me go back to the platform and I'll do it. But once I finish the diversification bit, before I leave, I'll definitely explain once again the functioning of the stop loss. As you can see from the diagram, that if you bought it over here, price went up, started coming down. So if you put a stop loss there, it will reduce. If it will book your loss right there, and if the market goes down more after that, you have nothing to worry about because your trade is already executed, right? One also other thing, how you can actually spread the risk in different direction is using by diversification. Now this is one of the most important thing in your portfolio. I discussed about the investment pyramid yesterday, that you put money in your savings account, you put money into fixed income bonds, you put money into blue chip real estates, and then the tip of that pyramid, which is speculation and trading, is something what you can also do. But then with bottom of the pyramid to the top, the risk and reward both start increasing, right? So you have to have a balanced approach towards it. Meanwhile, look at how the sectoral investing works. Look at this chart, click a picture or write it down. We'll just take 10 more minutes before we end this session. So please stay for 10 more minutes, and then you can leave and I'll ask your relationship managers to send you the demo account so you can quickly replicate what we did. Please also enlighten in detail about dual currency transaction in this portal. Okay, I'll try to do it. Okay, so first, understand the cycle of the economy. Every economy goes through a boom, which is acceleration, then reaches to a point where the growth rate starts diminishing, and then it reaches to recession, and then again a recovery. Now, in the early stages of the economic growth, there are few sectors which you have to keep in mind. So let's say if your target, and write it down, guys, or click a picture of this. If your target is, your outlook towards the economy is, you're looking at a very slowing economy, you're seeing that the things have started coming down, or the growth is not at the same into sectors which are less volatile and which are less risky. Okay, and those sectors which outperform when the economy is not at its best, and which are less volatile. This is called defensive strategy. Okay, which are the sectors which comes into defensive strategies? Healthcare sector, utilities, and consumer staples. Consumer staples means your regular, your essentials. You may not buy a Range Rover when the economy is slowing, but you're still going to buy a toothpaste, right? You're still going to drink a Coca Cola. You're still going to eat perhaps McDonald's. That is consumer staples. So, defensive strategy means when you're looking at the economy which is slowing down, start putting money into sectors related to utility, healthcare, and consumer staples. Correct? Moving on, when you are on the contrary side, if you're anticipating that the economy is growing, then you start investing money into those sectors which can give you higher returns. And technology is one of those sectors. Okay, highly volatile sector, but again rewarding. On left side, we saw a defensive strategy, which means low volatility, right? So obviously returns are also low, but it is much safer than investing into high volatile sections. Now you only invest into high volatile sectors like IT, financials, consumer discretionary. Consumer discretionary means opposite of consumer staples, which means these are the brands we are talking about. Ulta Beauty, Zara's and Land Rovers and this is a luxury item. Consumer discretionary. IT sector. It always tends to outperform during the time when economy is growing. So if you want to take advantage of that opportunity, you always, like right now what is happening with US interest rates all time low. Federal Reserve has said that they are going to keep interest rates down for a longer period of time. Joe Biden, the US president, is putting a lot of injecting a lot of stimulus in the economy, right? Bond yields are down. So, all in all, a lot of money coming from central banks for the infrastructure is actually showing a growing economy. That means you saw tech sectors, you saw banking sector going higher during this time, right? Next, if you are expecting, now this is one thing which we talked about yesterday, inflation. If you are expecting that the inflation is going to increase and you want to protect your buying power, start investing into material sector, start investing into real estate companies. Real estate stocks could be a good idea. Start investing into energy based companies, start investing into those companies. Like right now there is so much money being injected into the infrastructure by US, so you can start investing into those companies which supply raw materials to the construction companies, right? So this is called preemptive strategy. Now there is something called risk management, which is pair trading. Pair trading and short selling we'll discuss tomorrow, along with fundamental analysis of news and events. What are the news which impacts, and what are the important news which you should look into, right? And just before I leave, let me show you once again how to put a stop loss, because this is something which somebody asked right now. Just have a look once again how you put a stop loss, and then take a demo account to create a watch list. So to create a to put a stop loss, let me remove this one. Okay, what I'm going to do is, guys, I'm going to replicate this transaction. First, I'm booking my loss, $600. I click on close trade and book my loss. Now I have nothing. See how my account value from 100,000 shows 99,378. My margin comes back to the account because trade no longer exists. I go back to my watch list. This time, right now, I will buy gold. Gold per ounce is 1774. Let's say I want to buy 100 ounce of gold, which is equal to 177,000, for which margin blocked will be 5% of the total value, not 50%. 50% was in Bitcoin, but gold is only 5%. So 5% of 177,000 is $8,000. I have 99,000 in my account. So when I click on buy, turns out I can buy $177,000 worth gold in my $100,000 account by using a margin. So now margin blocked is 8,000. I go to account, go to positions, and now I want to put a stop loss. How do I put a stop loss? By click on this modification pen right here and clicking on stop loss and writing a loss amount. So let's say if it is $177,000 worth position, I don't want to lose more than 5% in this trade. So let's say, or 0.5%. So let's say around $1,500. I don't want to lose more than $1,500. So I write the amount 1,500 right here, which calculates the price to 1759. I click on modify, close. So now my stop loss is set to 1759, which means I purchased at 1774. But if my price goes to 1759, automatically the trade will be closed, right? So this is how you put a stop loss. Now, what we'll do is definitely discuss more. I can take this currency transaction also tomorrow. So we'll discuss a bit about transaction in currencies, because tomorrow again we'll take a trade and we'll do short selling as well. Okay, we'll do fundamental analysis also as well. So have your demo accounts today. Create watch list day assignment first. You can also put a take profit in this, just like you put a stop loss. Click here on take profit and write, let's say 1500, and click on modify. And now you have a green color take profit also right here. It's very easy. Please create a watch list, take a demo account. We will meet tomorrow, same time. We'll discuss about short selling, that how you can make money from the falling markets. We'll understand about important news and events. We'll do some trades together. And that's where tomorrow you will get to know that why we take a trade and why specific news are important before we move on to the technical bit. There's a question: stop loss remain for how many days? As long as you want to keep it, as long as the price hits the stop loss, you can keep it for as long as you want to, right? Once again, guys, thank you so much for coming to the session. Before I leave, on behalf of my team, Century Financial, myself and my family, uh, thank you so much to anyone who is into the medical industry, or is a part of healthcare industry, or have a family who is into the medical industry, or a friend who's into a medical industry, because um, doctors and healthcare professionals have dealt a lot this in last year on the pandemic, and you guys are the real heroes. So a big vote of thanks on behalf of uh, my family, my friends. Corona is a very difficult time. Please take care of yourself. Remain at home unless you really need to go out. Do wear your mask. I had COVID in last week, and I have recovered from it, and I'm still quarantined. I'm still at home doing these sessions. So please review us on Google if you like these sessions. We'll continue to do more for you, and we'll continue to do these sessions further one-on-one as well. I can definitely arrange a recording of these sessions. This will be put on YouTube, not on the same day, but once these sessions are over, it will definitely be put on YouTube. For those people who have joined late or are new to the session today, talk to your relationship managers. I'm sending a voice note to that to the RM group right now, and they will definitely help you out with the demo and understanding of that. So tomorrow when we meet, we'll do more about short selling. We'll do more about understanding financial news and events, and we'll also talk about how we can use strategies like pair trading to safeguard our portfolio, and use some market neutral strategies also, right? In fact, we'll try to cover as much as we can in 1 hour, but I'm available for one-on-one sessions as well. So please talk to your relationship managers. If you want to have one-on-one session on Zoom, I can definitely do that. Please review us on Google. My name is Yogesh. If you like whatever you liked about this session, whatever you not liked about this session, send us a feedback, and we'll definitely try to work on it, definitely try to improve on it. uh, take care of yourself. We'll meet tomorrow, same time, with the same approach, different topics, and more knowledge. Thank you so much once again. Have a great day.